The political and human impact of the Saddam regime is known, though often overlooked. Hundreds of thousands died in his wars and in his campaigns against his own people. But less well known is the economic impact of this. GDP per head in 1989 was just over $2,300. In the next 10 years, it fell to less than $600. Whole industries, agriculture, and of course tourism all declined dramatically. So now at least there is the possibility to rebuild. So I'm very honored to be here at this IBBC conference and support the growth of British investment in Iraq. The question is now how to turn the potential that Iraq has, which is enormous, into reality. And here there are also lessons that can be learned from around the world, from nations that have emerged from conflict or from being failed states. And in this, Iraq shares many of the challenges that the rest of the region shares. First, government in a country like Iraq will always have a dual-track challenge for its leadership. They have to cope with the security challenge, and especially where there are foreign players meddling in its politics, that is going to be very tough. However, alongside the security challenge, there is the simpler challenge of delivering better services and jobs for the people. And the risk is always that the one overwhelms the other. Now, of course, the two are linked. But some of the basic changes around electricity, housing, water, roads, these have to be focused on and delivered regardless. And though around the center of the country, the security issue is particularly acute, much of the country is relatively peaceful. So keeping the drive for delivery of basic services and infrastructure at the forefront of the government's priorities is absolutely essential. And it's a lesson you can learn from around the world. Secondly, corruption is an issue and has to be confronted. It is a long-term endemic problem. But again, what can happen is that areas of policy, for example, public procurement, can be isolated and protected if the right systems are put in place. Bureaucracy is also an issue linked to corruption, but it's an issue on its own too. The easier it is to do business, the faster the economy will grow and create its own momentum. So at least ensuring parts of government work efficiently and fast with the necessary technical capacity is an absolute priority. Other countries find this hard because the capacity is hard to build. But Iraq should have no difficulty resourcing such capacity, and it's there, and it's needed. Third, the development of a private sector that's thriving is absolutely preconditional. Again, the lesson from around the world. One of the worst aspects of the Ba'athist philosophy was this almost atavistic belief in state ownership and power. Again, from around the world, one clear lesson emerges. To grow, a country has to encourage its private sector. The more this is done, the faster the results. Fourth, in this development, foreign investment can play a part. When, as in the case of Iraq, a nation has been a failed state, the basic intellectual and business capital of the country gets destroyed. And it takes time to replenish and rebuild it. The private sector itself, therefore, will take years to build its own capability. And foreign investment in these years is a vital component of accelerating that process, not just because of the money that it brings into the country, but really for the management skills, the work discipline, the basic ability to improve output that the foreign investment brings. Fifthly, when the center of government is embroiled in so many difficult challenges, it's crucial to allow the provinces, the regions, the ability to move things themselves. And finally, and obviously, the political context matters, and matters enormously. This is not just about maintaining democratic principles. This is about a nation having, despite all its differences and disagreements, a core of cohesion and unity of purpose. In the Middle East right now, as revolutions sweep the region, and this is a genuine upheaval happening across this region right now, we can see how hard it is for that unity of purpose to be discovered, consolidated, and nurtured. So everywhere there bubbles up to the surface religious, ethnic, tribal discord, which then displaces the sense of what people can achieve together. And there is no easy way to pacify these tensions. But the price we pay for the disunity is immense, and Iraq shows it. But if we take a step back and look at Iraq differently, we see the possibility. And it's important to keep this ambition in our hearts and minds today. And that possibility is of Iraq as an economic powerhouse, as it should be, as a cultural icon, as its history demonstrates, and as an intellectual and artistic center, which once it was. And keeping this vision of how Iraq achieves that again should be what all Iraq's friends and all Iraqis have at the forefront of their minds and in their hearts. So I think today is a chance, even amongst all these challenges, to contemplate these bigger questions. But most of all, to discuss the size of the immediate opportunity. British business is already invested in Iraq, as you know. But I think we also all know there is so much more that we could be doing there. And this conference is a platform to help all of you do it. So, Emma, it is a pleasure and an honor to be with you here today, to endorse the conference, to support it, and to wish it well. And to all of you who have come from Iraq to Britain today, welcome. Thank you for what you are doing. And we will be there with you to help build your country in the future in the way that you want, in the way that we want, and in the way that the Iraqis deserve. My warmest greetings to all of you. Thank you.